He's going to outrun him, and he will get it in for the touchdown. Going to the end zone, got a man there. Touchdown!
Oregon football with Mike Bellotti.
And back to throw the ball. Steps, throws it downfield. Demetrius is there. He's got it. He'll score. Touchdown, Oregon. Demetrius Williams from Kellen Clemens.
And with that, the Oregon Ducks beat the Arizona State Sun Devils. A huge win on the road for the Ducks. 5-1, ranked 20th in the country. And here we go. Coach, congratulations. What a big win.
Thanks, Joe. It was a great win. I'll tell you what, our players on offense, defense, and special teams all played extremely well. Terrence Whitehead, healthy. I think you can see what he can do. 100 yards receiving, 100 yards rushing plus in the game. Our defense really stepping up. Anthony Truck's making a lot of key plays. Patrick Chung, really pleased. Our special teams were solid, and we knew we needed all aspects to be firing all cylinders in this game.
You talk about the seniors. Demetrius, Kellen, Terrence Whitehead, and also defensively, even though Halotti's not a senior, but, you know, it might be, kind of, and Devin Long. I mean, the seniors, Anthony Trucks, this was a senior-led win against Arizona State.
Well, it was, and you know, those kids had played, had 3 tough games against Arizona State. I hate to even talk about that more than just it was a big win this time of the year for us to stay in the Pac-10 race. Certainly to go there and get 2 road games in a row on wins in the Pac-10. Those are huge in the long scheme of things and will make a difference down the road.
The momentum that your team has now, the feeling that you have, and can you explain the difference between being 5-1 and on a roll as opposed to, say, another year where you might lose a couple of games, and how the kids approach practice, how they approach games, that, you know, when you get the momentum going behind you, that's a tough thing to stop sometimes.
I was really pleased with our players that what they did is keep the momentum and the intensity from the second half of Stanford, especially on defense. They played hard, they rallied around each other, they made plays, and it was effort-type plays that was really the most important thing. Offense continued to move the football, do a great job. Kellen did not have his best game, but got support from everybody. And again, Terrence just made such a difference. Demetrius Williams, huge catches. But overall, that group of kids, I love this group of kids, this group of players. I told them that on Friday night, but I also told them they better play their tails off, because if they quit, we were going to have practice on Sunday. So first thing after the game, I said, okay, guys, we're going to have practice on Sundays.
That would have been tough since we got back at 4:30 in the morning.
It would have been tough, and I think that was the whole deal.
It was a tough night. I tell you, Roger Waterman, Scott Phillips, they edit the show together. We come in Sunday to do it. Great job working through the night to get this on for you. A lot of highlights. Let's move to it. First quarter action down in Tempe, and boy, so much for scoring first, because you look at the Fresno State game, the Oregon USC game, you know, the Stanford game. You know, your team's been able to come back no matter what, and scoring first doesn't seem to matter too much anymore.
No, I think, again, it's more, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. That's probably the best way to put it.
ASU starts with the ball. They had a first down on a screen pass. They really wanted to run the ball, Coach. They just tried to plug away at it, but only for 3 yards there, so Oregon gets it back and goes to work.
Demetrius at the 20, 25, 30. First down, gets through the secondary and bumps over the 40-yard line to the 43.
Pretty good hit. I think he was tackled by James Finley. But again, great job. Nice play call. First play to get their momentum and their aggressiveness against them. Max Unger got to get up the field a bit. Demetrius says, I can't wait for him. I'll do it on my own.
Fun aspect of this offense, and to start out the game with that little reverse pitch there to the 42-yard line, and Kellen to Whitehead, 22 more yards, so picking them up in big chunks.
Yeah, keeping them off balance. Again, just doing what the offense does. It spreads you out and creates these opportunities.
Terrence on his way to a huge day, 222 yards, all-purpose. As I mentioned, the seniors leading the way, but let's talk about this play, Coach. A little screen pass to the outside.
Well, nice job. Schwartz on the lead block outside. Terrence just cuts back against the grain, picks up a couple blocks, and keeps on. He does a great job of this, making people miss in the open field.
Ducks on the move, had a 15-yard penalty in there, a tough call, and then Kellen looking towards the end zone, and just a little too long. Demetrius had steps pretty much the entire day.
Yeah, Kellen was a little excited early and overthrew a couple. Just got to feather those balls in there. Another screen to Terrence. Same play, we ran the other way.
So picks up 7 yards on 3rd and 25, so gets you a chance to kick the field goal. You know, I originally thought this was Martinez just because I assumed it. It obviously wasn't Martinez, and it was Evenson that came in. Martinez was injured, and this one gets blocked, a low liner.
Yeah, and this was my fault. I shouldn't have tried the 55-yarder, although he made a 51-yarder into the wind. I think he has the leg. I want to prove I have the confidence in him to try it from anywhere, but the kick was low and it was blocked.
So Arizona State comes back with it after the promising Oregon drive. Burgess just gets outside here for 12 yards. You know, running play that they actually gained some yards on was broken away from where it was designed to go. They just used a little speed. All day, what a great job he did against the run.
Yeah, we stopped the thing up front, and part of their running game is designed to do that. Their tight end, Zach Miller, I believe, tough player, breaking tackles and making a key catch there.
18 yards on that play. Here's Richardson to the outside for 7 more yards. Another first down now to the Oregon 14. And then Keller coming up on this play to Hagan for 20 yards, and this was their best drive of the day by far. 5 plays, 57 yards, 7-0 Sun Devils. And the crowd was into it a little bit, although it wasn't a huge crowd, but no sense of panic whatsoever, it seemed, on your sideline at all.
No, and again, I feel like I gave him that one. I gave him great field position to start with the field goal attempt, and I was mad at myself. And again, about our defense, everybody responded. Again, as you said, no panic button, come back, run on the football, Terrence up the middle for a good game.
9 yards on the play, but there was a big personal foul penalty for blocking after the play. It takes it back to the 16. And then here was potential disaster. Jamar Williams intercepts Kellen. He takes it all the way down to the 8-yard line. The ball was tipped. And, Coach, there were so many swings in this game, but I think, and I'm wondering what you think, that this was the series of the game.
No question. I think holding them out, forcing them to kick a field goal when they got the ball first and goal at the 8-yard line. Ball was tipped, tough play, but our defense really responds. Keller
Sacked by Haloti and just mowed over by the big fella, and the Devils have to kick it. Ainsworth is in. And another look first, though, at Haloti coming after Keller.
Well, it's a nice job. Devin Long actually flashes in, forces him up in the pocket, and Haloti finishes the job.
So now the Devils have to kick it. Ainsworth coming in. And, Coach, look at this ball. I mean, I'll tell you what, that's not good by a lot, but they count it good, 10-0. But a victory for the defense on the sudden change.
Absolutely. When you hold them out, when they have the ball down there, and you force them to kick a field goal, that is a huge momentum shift and a victory for the defense.
Ducks come back and move the football. Clemens here for 10 yards on the keeper, and then Clemens to Whitehead for 3 on the inside pitch, and they played it well there. Not so well later on in the game. We'll show that to you as we get to it. And then Clemens here to Weatherspoon for 14, and so again, moving the ball, it's, early on it was Oregon mistakes that were keeping Oregon out of the end zone.
Absolutely. Our own mistakes, turnovers, etc. stopped us because we moved the football, a couple of penalties, ill-advised penalties, and again, nice job here finding Kyle over the middle for the big key first down.
That was a 3rd down conversion, 6 of 18 on the day. Ball moves out to the 38-yard line.
Screen pass, it's wide open. Whitehead across the 40. Now he cuts it back and he could go. Whitehead if he gets a block. 35 and turns it up to the 30-yard line, and bodies flying everywhere.
This is tremendous improvisation by Kellen Clemens. There's the blitz coming, sidesteps it, sees Terrence out of side view, tosses him the football. He makes the most of this. It's a spread field, does a nice job going north-south, east-west, north-south, the whole thing.
So that was a 3rd down as well. Nice conversion. ASU called a timeout here. Then Oregon tries to pound a little. Johnson for 5 yards here, and you can start to see your offensive line take control.
Yeah, we knew we had a size advantage in there, and we wanted to use that early on and try to wear them down over the course of the game.
Then on 3rd and 1, you get the first down, but Helmet came in and knocked the ball out, fumble, and a great drive again, and Arizona State with the football.
Yeah, probably would have had the first down. Ball comes out. They get it. Unfortunate. Again, we keep shooting ourselves in the foot, but the nice thing is nobody got down. Offense, defense, nobody's pointing fingers. We're just going to go play.
And I think you can still feel the game swing a little bit with that defensive stop there when they had great field position at the 9.
Yeah, and we knew we were moving the football. We just weren't making the breaks and finishing plays. We talked a ton about on the sideline with the offense. We got to finish those drives.
All right, the Ducks ready to take control of this one. The offense starting to really hit it. A 3-quarter stretch coming up with the Ducks completely dominating the Sun Devils on both sides of the ball. That and more when we return on Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti after this.
This Oregon Sports program is brought to you by Albertsons and Bi-Mart.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we go. 2nd quarter action at Sun Devil Stadium. The Ducks trying to get this one going, and they really would get it going in the 2nd quarter, trailing at 10-0, but the defense forcing an ASU punt. Justin Finney back near his own 20-yard line.
Finney back to the 35. Going to try to get it upfield. Gets hit. Gets by 1. 45. Still on his feet. 50. 45. And goes into a stack at about the 43 of Arizona State.
Nice job by Justin taking away and getting straight up the field. This is a low line drive, and we knew we had a chance to return it. Gets a couple of key blocks down the field here. You see him get vertical just there and make the first guy miss. A couple of good blocks right there, staying up, and then just straight down the field.
Obviously not back to his own 20, but more like the 35, and it gives Oregon great field position, Coach, and that was a big deal. Clemens to Whitehead for 9 yards, and kind of feel like you're running downhill at this point and really starting to work their defensive line over a little bit.
Yeah, we just got to keep going a little bit. It's a great catch by Terrence on the previous play, and then get the ball to him inside. Drive stalls, have to settle for a field goal, and Matt Evenson steps up and bounces it in from 51 yards.
Puts you on the board right there, 10-3, and Evenson with the nice kick. And ASU with another 3 and out, 3 incompletions that weren't even close. The Ducks with the ball back on the Oregon 12, and Colvin gets a pass interference here, getting a little contact down the field.
Yeah, they arm-barred his inside hand. I still want to see him make a greater effort to get that 2 hands on the ball.
To the 27, Whitehead for 6 yards, now to the 33, then a big one.
Would get him a first down, I think. Clemens under center and backhand handed off. Here's the flea flicker. Oh, he's got him. Demetrius way downfield. Can he get to it? It is caught inside of the 10-yard line and down.
Well, great execution on this play. Nice call by Gary Croton and his staff. You can see the flip back from Terrence to Kellen. Kellen hits him on stride, 60 yards down the field. We practiced this the other day, threw in about 90 yards, it seemed like. But great catch and great concentration by Demetrius down the field.
61 yards to the ASU 6, ready to tie this game.
Pitches it out to Whitehead, 5, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Nice individual effort. Nice blocking out there by Cameron Colvin. Great pitch and timing by Kellen. There he goes, gets the ball, and he's not going to be denied. Goes up, vertical, airborne, boom, nice flip.
Helicopter.
Sports Center, yeah, here we go.
That was a big play there with 9:32 to go in the second. 3 plays, 88 yards, 114, and the game is tied. And all the momentum on the Oregon sideline, a brand new game, and another huge series by the Duck D. It looked like ASU was going to take one in as they started to move the ball a little bit. But again, when it got to be crunch time, your defense stepped up.
They did a nice job here. They made a couple plays. ASU made a couple plays to keep this drive alive, but our defense did not wilt at all.
Here's Keller looking downfield, and he dumps it off short, and Miller, just a great tight end, makes the play there. So they converted some third downs. But then they come back, still looking for the big tight end. Another nice play. But a coach, at this point, they start to try to run the ball. Keegan Herring, nothing. Patrick Chung, Bellotti out of there, sets up a 3rd and 9 at the 10-yard line.
Here comes the pressure up the middle, thrown, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Ducks and some room to run. And how about that? The Duck defense comes up with a big one. Blair Phillips, his first interception as an Oregon Duck.
Big-time play by Blair Phillips. He's getting better and better every game. He deflected one in the game. He makes his pick. He sinks in the hole there. Ball, just great job. Left-hander, one hand goes up, gets the ball. Big-time play because they had momentum driving down the field, and we turned them away.
He had just 2 tackles on the day, credited with 2 tackles, but he certainly was a factor in the game. It seemed like he was always around the ball.
Did a nice job bottling up that middle.
So the teams traded a couple punts after that pick, so Oregon gets it back with 37 seconds to go in the half. On their own 32, that was Whitehead for 7 to the 39. He gets out of bounds. Then Kellen Rosario on 3rd and 3 for 8. Oregon uses a timeout with 22 seconds to go. And then Paisinger for 9, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, we did a nice job. The 2-minute offense here, clutch offense. As we say, we want to get a shot, maybe hit a field goal, so we just work the ball down the field.
7 seconds left, and ASU in the prevent. Oregon goes to run the football. They get a chance to kick it from 51 yards out. Here comes the freshman.
The tie, snap good, placement good, kick is up. He's got a chance. He hit it. He hit the field goal.
Nice job. Again, that was a huge play, momentum-wise in the game, I believe, because it gave our guys confidence we can make that. He gets it. We operate the 2-minute drill just flawlessly. And again, that 51-yarder was good from 56 or 57.
And Oregon leads it 13-10. That's a very familiar score, Coach, same as the USC game. So I'm curious what you said to the guys at halftime.
You know what? I talked about the fact that we didn't start off very strong. We stopped ourselves more than anything else. I was really pleased with our defense. They'd played a great game of football. They needed to keep it up. We needed to come together and play an entire half. The score really didn't matter. I didn't talk about the score at all. I just said about what we needed to do to be effective and to play great Duck football.
All right, coming up at the half, the Ducks are at the halfway mark, if you will, for this entire season. If you consider that they're likely to play in a bowl game, too early to make travel arrangements, yes, but not too early to kind of look where you might be headed for the holiday. That and more when we return on Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti after this.
This Oregon Sports program is brought to you by Kendall Auto Group and Jerry's Home Improvement.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Oregon's win on Saturday means they're only one win away now from securing a winning season and going to a bowl game. Of course, after beating the Sun Devils, Oregon's sights are set much higher than a single win. And as it turns out, several bowl scouts have their sights set on the Ducks now. They were in attendance at Sun Devil Stadium, including the committee members from the hometown Fiesta Bowl. Now, there's a long way to go, but keep this in mind. No Pac-10 team finishing with a 10-1 record has been left out of a BCS game. So the Fiesta Bowl can take an at-large Pac-10 team if USC goes to play for the national championship at the Rose Bowl. Otherwise, they'll take the Pac-10 champ. The Holiday Bowl is next in line, then a trip to El Paso, possibly against the Michigan team, which has 3 losses already. The Inside Bowl is for 4th place, the Vegas Bowl for number 5, and the Emerald Bowl down in San Francisco for the 6th place finisher, provided the 6th place finisher has the requisite 6 wins. Wherever the Ducks go, the Oregon cheerleaders will certainly follow. They might even run there, given what a group of 5 of them are going through right now. Now, we told you about this last week, but they really need your help. 5 of the young ladies are training for a marathon coming up in 3 weeks. They're trying to raise money and awareness for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and trying to get down to San Francisco so they can run the 26 miles, 385 yards. Anything you can do for these committed young ladies would certainly help them in a big way, and here's how you can do so. Call the CAS Center during business hours at 346-4481, 346-4481, and then ask for the cheerleading office to help out the young ladies as they train for their marathon. Now, did you know that the Oregon Ducks are 4-5 when wearing the all-white uniforms? Now they're 2-0 when wearing the green pants. They're also almost unbeatable when wearing all yellow. So which will it be? Ducks continue to mix things up with the uniforms, and we're curious which ones the fans like best. So today's trivia question: which uniform combo do you like the most so far this year? Green pants, white top, all white, all yellow, all green, or green pants, yellow top, yellow pants, green top? Your chance to play fashion consultant. We'll pass along the results to the coach and have it for you next week, right here on Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti. All right, when we come back, the Duck offense is in the midst of scoring on 5 of 7 possessions over the second and third quarters. The defense and the special teams continue to turn the heat up on the Devils. That and more when Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti continues right after this.
This Oregon Sports program is brought to you by Comcast and Northwest Ford Dealers.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's go to those third quarter highlights down in Tempe, Oregon, leading Arizona State. Your team with a lot of fire this year, Coach. I mean, I think that maybe from the top down, you feel a little more energized with this group?
Well, I like this group, but we've also talked about we need to come out with more energy in the second half, and we've made that a real focus point for the whole team.
Well, having those senior leaders, too, guys like Kellen Clemens, as you mentioned early, what a big deal that is. But you can definitely sense around Kellen a confidence, and the rest of the guys a little bit more emotion.
Absolutely. And, you know, his command of this offense is amazing. A little sleight of hand there, gets outside the defense and picks up 30-some yards on a great play to open the half. 47
yards on 9 carries for Kellen, but the main guy, Terrence Whitehead, a couple of runs, puts the ball down on the Arizona State 36, and then it's Kellen out to James Finley on a 2nd and 11 play, and a nice little inside move there and working hard, second effort to get the first down.
This little screen-type play is a compliment to our inside running game. It's Kellen's choice every time whether to hand it inside or throw the screen outside. James Finley, sure-handed receiver, does a great job run after catch and gets the first down.
In ASU territory deep now, but ASU's defense steps up after that play. 3 straight runs, and Oregon not able to move the chains here. Devils do a good job, so Matt Evenson comes back in for the 42-yarder. And important to get points again, since you scored at the end of the half, got the ball first, scored again.
Right, and again, you come down and get that thing right at the end of the first half, then you come out and score the first series. I think that's great momentum, keeps it up, keeps the pressure on the Sun Devils.
16-10 at that point, and believe it or not, a lot of the crowd left here, or they didn't come back after halftime for some reason. The ones there spent a lot of time actually booing the home team because they were just persistent about trying to run the football, and then they have to punt it. Dangerous moment.
Yeah, great job by Kyle Witherspoon. Very poor technique by the sure-handed Justin Finney, and a little bit frustrating. The guy kicked the ball very well, and it drifted in the air quite a bit.
Here's Whitehead for 9 yards, and then Clemens looking for Kyle Weatherspoon, again spreading the ball around, and he picks up 9 more yards. So again, moving the football here.
Yeah, same idea. Just distribute the ball, let guys be playmakers.
Clemens to Williams for 13. It seems like every catch he makes is a big one, and that was a big one to move the chains. Ducks go back to the bag of tricks. The throwback, not this time though.
No, and again, they did a pretty good job of covering it, and Terrence threw a little bit of a low pass with a little throw back to the quarterback, and they do a nice job of sniffing it out. We get good protection here. Terrence just panics just a little bit. That ball gets touched right there. I think they had a couple guys out there to cover Clemens anyway.
2nd down and 10 now. Whitehead for 8 yards to the 29, picking him up in big chunks, and your offensive line really doing a great job. They're starting to get a little bit tired, Coach, but there was an incompletion. Gave him a little bit of a break, and then Evenson sends this one a little bit right. So a big break for ASU there, but clearly you can see which team is better here. I mean, you can see that if you're at the game. You can tell Oregon is the better team.
Yeah, we're moving the football. I knew we were the better team. We just had to make sure we didn't make any mistakes that allowed them to come back in the game.
D just not allowing a thing, but then on 3rd down, the Devils are able to get something going. They had to throw some incompletions, and they had to punt it. Again, McDonald back at his 13-yard line, blocked, and Oregon takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Nick Reed, who actually blocked the ball, is the guy that recovers it. Great job. He came in, makes the key block here. I'm sure you get a chance to see it. We don't really have, this is not a block. It's just a regular rush. He just does a great job of swimming the man responsible for him. Punter took a little bit too much time. Nick blocks it right off his foot. Then he's the first guy down. Well, actually, Jackie Bates, the quickest guy down there, taps that ball. Nick falls on at the 1.5-yard line.
So this drive coming up, shortest drive of the year.
To the 1, and he squirts through. He's laying across the goal line, but no signal. Now the signal. Touchdown, Oregon.
Nice job. Great individual effort there by Terrence Whitehead. They're packed in there. We do a pretty decent job. Don't quite get a piece of that guy, but he gets underneath the second wall, sticks that ball in the end zone.
1 play, 1 yard, 6 seconds, and Oregon goes for 2. Coach, you're perfect on 2-point conversions.
That's pretty amazing. I say great. It's normal play around the open field. Great execution. Run a little shovel pass back to James Finley inside there. Sure, you lead him in the end zone. Nice job. Great execution. Great call.
So 24-10, Coach. 24 unanswered over a quarter and a half at this point. I'm a little bit like the Stanford game, really.
Yeah, and again, it's just a question of us continuing to make sure we don't make mistakes or give up any big plays.
Now, they're a good team, so you know they're going to make a little bit of a run. And right there, Miller for 13, and then Keller to Lewis here for 42 yards. They got a big one, got open. And, you know, I guess it's like a basketball game when you know the other team's going to put a little run on you, and they did.
Yeah, they responded pretty well, and they came up with a big play that put them down there in position to potentially score.
So they take it down inside to Richardson to the 4-yard line, and then Keller is going to find Miller for the touchdown. First score since the first quarter, and it cuts the lead to 24-17 at that point. ASU with a little life here, but and their defense also getting some things going as well, but your team just never folded even when they were challenged in this game.
No, I think we had the confidence that we knew we could move the football. We knew we could stop them. They got the one big play. We're going to come back and make some ourselves.
Here's Whitehead for 12 yards, and then Kellen to throw on 3rd and 10, and with a 7-point lead, you know, almost, you know, you think, wow, they got great field position. They're going to tie the game, but again, your defense just did a great job after they had the interception by Zach Catanese, and they have the ball at the 40-yard line. Another huge series by the D.
Yeah, not a great play call, not a great play execution. They get the ball in great position, but our defense really steps up here, does a great job.
They get the pass interference on Finney, who had his hands on the receiver, but the next time, he's going to put his hands on the football and make what turns out to be a huge play in this game.
Comes a rush up the middle. Hangs in there. Finney with the interception. Can he get some blocks? Finney gets by. He's at the 50. Tries to cut it back and takes it all the way inside the 35 to the 33-yard line.
This is a great play by Justin Finney. He's in coverage. It's a makeup play because he did hold on the previous play when he probably didn't need to. He says, I'm going to make something happen here. Great job anticipating that, playing underneath the throw. Great catch, gets up, and then great return also. And he got to be tired on this. There's another one as he ran back 20 yards, then ran 60 yards the other direction, and great individual effort.
51 yards on the return. There were so many huge plays in this game if you just look back on it. Oregon going with the reverse, and Cameron Colvin decides to cut this one in and picks up a few yards. They actually ruled out a fumble.
Yeah, I thought he was down, but he probably should have followed his blocking. Again, we got to get our line going a little bit more north and south. Our guys are a little too fast and don't want to wait that long.
Max Unger got on the football. Whitehead for 6 yards on 3rd and 5. What an effort to get to the chain.
Great job. Super job. Just a one-on-one thing. He showed his speed and his awareness of where that mark was.
So the Ducks in striking range here. Kellen looks like he can get there and then just takes a huge hit. They say fumble, then touchdown is what the original call was, but they reviewed it, and they ruled this has got to be the first time ever that a fumble by the offense being reviewed as being down actually hurt your team.
Yeah.
You would have had a touchdown.
We would have had a touchdown. I think watching the film, his knee is clearly down. You see he decides to scramble right here, puts his head down, then right there, his knee goes down, then the ball comes out. Ball lays there on the turf. I saw it laying. I didn't see who grabbed it, but Cameron Coleman just reaches in, picks it up, stands in the end zone, drags it across. They signal a touchdown.
3rd and goal, so you got to go back to the 1, and Whitehead does a good job just getting back inside the 2-yard line. And then 4th and goal, decide to go for it here, Coach. Up 24-17, and had it there, just didn't hit it.
Yeah, they knock our receiver down. A nice job. Tim Day's open the back of the end zone. Kellen can't find him. So, again, another potential loss of momentum, but we got him down there in the hole. I felt really good about the aggressive stance we were taking in this game.
So ASU was able to move it out on 3rd down. Hagan for 11 yards and the 1st down, but facing a lot of pressure now. The D-line seemed to be wearing their offensive line down. Keller going to be sacked by Anthony Trucks. The fumble. How many times did a ball bounce to their guy just like that?
Yeah, there was at least 2 or 3 times where it seemed like the ball's on the ground. We had it in our hands at one point and didn't quite come up with it. It's a shame. But again, that's being around the football, good things are going to happen.
And that's going to end the quarter. A wild 3rd quarter, a long 3rd quarter. It's already approaching 10:45 at night. It seemed like we're about 10:30. So team having to stay in there for a long time and be fit. And clearly physical fitness, I think, was a big factor in this game. And your team was more fit than Arizona State.
Well, I think we handled the game. The heat, we talked about the heat being a factor. We prepared like we did for Houston. It was probably 85, 90 degrees at game time, but got less over the course of the game. The sun not being on you was a different factor, and there was a nice breeze to keep it cool. Our kids handled the weather, the issues, the long game all very, very well.
All right, coming up, Doug's looking to put this one away, seeing how big that senior leadership is on this team. 2 of them, Kellen Clemens and Demetrius Williams, with the dagger. Oregon football with Mike Bellotti returns right after this.
This Oregon Sports Program is brought to you by Oregon Electric Station and Doyle's Harley-Davidson. This Oregon Sports Program is brought to you by Ward Insurance and Eugene Home Sales Center.
Welcome back, everyone. That place is going to be packed for the Huskies coming up, but we still have 1 quarter to get through. Let's go to the 4th quarter highlights. Oregon and Arizona State. Here we go. 4th quarter, Ducks forced an ASU punt and started out their own 12-yard line.
From the shotgun from his own 12-yard line. Hands it off up the middle. Big hole, a nice run, and Whitehead's off to the races. 25, 30, 35, down the sideline and out of bounds. Tackled up at the 46-yard line of Oregon, out of bounds right in front of his own bench.
This is a good example of what this offense can do, and Terrence Whitehead improvisation here. Nice job cutting up the field, bounces in, bounces out, makes the guy miss right there, and off to the races, picks up a little bit of a block from one of the wide receivers, and then gets a 30-some-yard gain. Big gain to get us out of the hole in good field position.
What a big lift to have Terrence back, huh? 34 yards on the play. Flea flicker again. This time, how about Kellen just getting away and making something out of it?
Yeah, positive play. Finds Ryan Keeling for a 3 or 4 yard gain. Makes it a positive play.
And they had it covered as well. They were deep on the receiver, so Kellen doing a good job getting something positive. And then on the option, that actually was a fumble. It went backwards and went out of bounds, recovered by Dirk Cutter. But Oregon keeps the ball, and then Clemens comes back. He had a nice strong throw, and Pasinger with a good catch.
Great catch, because he didn't handle that pitch very well the time before, so great catch. Sets up a big play in the game.
Wait for the snap. He got it. He made it in time. And it'll be first down and more outside. Jonathan Stewart goes out of bounds all the way up to the 32-yard line. And how in the world did Kellen Clemens get that play off?
Actually, I was running down the sideline, eyeing the play clock, because I was going to call timeout if we didn't get it. I had the confidence and faith in Kellen. Nice job by the line. They create a seam. Jonathan finds that seam and busts it for 12 yards.
So the 4th and 1 play to the ASU 45, leading by 7, going for the knockout.
pick up the blitz, going over the middle. Williams has it at the 5. Touchdown, Demetrius Williams, 34 yards.
Great play call here again. Kellen finds Demetrius. We noticed he was one-on-one coverage. He just set back. Great protection. Allows him to make a perfect pass. Demetrius beats him any way that he can. Has him by 2 steps. Takes it into the end zone. Big-time play.
7 plays, 88 yards. Makes it 31-17. And at this point, the defense just going to have to hold on a few times, and Oregon's going to get out of there with a victory. A big one, but Demetrius, 3 catches, over 100 yards again. And as we mentioned earlier, every time he makes a catch, seems like it's a big play.
Well, yeah. A lot of first downs, a lot of touchdowns.
Richardson for 3, Finney on the stop. And then pressure, Coach. Let's talk about the pressure. Anthony Trucks, Bellotti, Devin Long. You challenged those guys, and Trucks and the linebackers, everybody else came through.
Well, and Trucks is getting healthier by the day, and that's awesome because he's a playmaker for us here. See, here comes in, starts it, helps, gets a little help to finish it with Haberly and Nada, but it was Anthony Trucks coming off the edge.
Trucks with 11 tackles. They had to punt it again. They punted 8 times in the game. Your defense forcing 6 3-and-outs against what was one of the best offenses in the country. Now the clock starts working for you. Ball stays in bounds, and tick-tock, it starts to move.
Yeah, and we want to make sure, but we're not necessarily going to only run it. Again, we do a nice job there. Got to play in for Dennis Dixon comes in. I didn't really want to see him get out of bounds. Want to see him duck it up inside and get some more yards.
Oregon forced to punt. ASU back with it. Keller for 6 yards here on the 3rd and 5, and just tries to make something of it. And to Burgess here, and again, here's another one of those plays where they fumble the ball and it just somehow pops right back to their guy as it goes all the way back to the offensive line.
Great job by Anthony Trucks. He actually swipes and knocks the ball out, has a chance to pick it up, and then, I don't know if this is that play. No, it's another play, but great job. We had a couple chances to get it. Anthony was all over the field.
And trying to keep, if they're going to score, you're making them work. They're keeping things in front, keeping things in the field of play, and they convert on 4th and 3, and they 4 yards on 3rd and 11. They picked up the first, but then they had 4 straight incompletions, Coach. So you really made them work for everything, and the time just kept moving away.
We did, and that play right there by Patrick Chung was, I think, the play of the game because they had a guy running down the middle, but he came over offside, knocked that ball away, which was a huge, huge play.
Chung had 10 tackles on the day. Coach, how about talking about your freshman and how he did?
He's doing awesome. Getting better and better, getting more authoritative in his tackling, recognizing things better, covering the entire field, and he's one of the quickest guys to the ball that we have.
Keller just spraying the ball all over the field at this point as ASU had a couple of opportunities here with the game ticking down. But again, on a 4th down, keeping him in front, not getting the first down. That's the ball game. Pretty much just have to get a first down here and run the clock out. But you could tell with Jonathan Stewart with the football, just going to milk this one out and get out of there with a victory.
Well, we knew we needed to get the first down just to make it safe. So I was really appreciative of the fact that the defense held and the offense ran that football, got the first down, made it one of those you could just set on the clock, and that's a great way to have a victory.
And with that, the Ducks get the win. An improving team, a team that can even be better than they were against Arizona State, celebrating with their fans. A very significant win for the Oregon football program, and the guys in the locker room knew it.
This feels great. I haven't felt this good after a win in a while, and this feels really, really good. I mean, ASU was a great team, and we beat them, and I think really we could have played better. I mean, it feels good right now.
It feels real good. I mean, first off, you always want to get a win on the road. That's key. That's real big. And, I mean, like I said, everybody doubted us. Everybody thought we couldn't win. But I think as players, coaches, we knew what we can do, and we just came out and we did it.
Well, this was a real big win. That was one of the things that we really wanted to do. We wanted to go out and beat them because we haven't beaten them in 3 years. And plus, they were the next team on our schedule. That's how we look at it. Whoever on the schedule next, we're trying to go out and beat them.
It's huge. 5-1's a lot better than 4-2 would have been. Gives us a lot of momentum to get after the Huskies next week. It's awesome just to get the devil off our back because they've been on us for the last 3 years. So it's just good to get back after them and play good Duck football.
This game is really big. We defeated the team that was supposed to beat us. This puts us on on the top half of the Pac-10. It just feels great to be a Duck.
We're going to be ranked higher, so people are going to be shooting for us. It really doesn't change much for us. We're going to go out there and play just as hard every week because we only got one game a week, and that's the biggest game of the week because we only have one game. So the coach is always preaching that to us, and this is great. We're going to celebrate tonight, but tomorrow, get in there, look at some film, and get ready for the Dogs.
and having to go to work. And, of course, Coach, you know, every time you win a game, the next one becomes even bigger, and that's where this program is now this year after the great 5-1 start.
Thank you. No question. Get the devil off our back. I think that was a great comment. And then I asked Devin, if I put face paint on like that, I think I'd get some airtime. He said, yeah, Coach, I think you'd be Sports Center #1. Yeah, we just got to take them one game at a time. It was like they talked about last week. That was the only game we got to play. We have one game this week. It's a Pac-10 game. We get to come back home. But the most important thing is we've done what we need to do, but we still got to build on this. And we can play better as a football team still.
Put you in the conference race as well. USC, of course, out there kind of in front of everybody, but you never know what's going to happen. They could lose a Pac-10 game down the road. UCLA still on their schedule, but the Ducks right there now at 2-1 in the conference. All right, coming up, imagine what it's going to be like at Autzen Stadium next week. The Ducks moving up the rankings to number 20 this week, 2 straight wins on the road, and the Huskies coming to town. That and more when we return on Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti after this.
20 yards and a score. How about this? Bruins nothing.
This Oregon Sports program is brought to you by Kendall Auto Group and Michael's Leather and Oak.
Welcome back, everyone, to Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti. What a weekend in the Pac-10 Conference. And get ready, because it's going to be like this every week. And as it turns out, it's too bad Oregon and UCLA will not meet this season. Let's start it out in Los Angeles with top-ranked USC taking on a scrappy Arizona Wildcats team, trailing 21-7. Third quarter, Richard Kovalchuk goes up top. Michael Thomas on the other end. He had a big day. Arizona hung tough. They're down a touchdown late in that third quarter. But Matt Leinart, Dwayne Jarrett would put it away in the fourth quarter, leading by only 1 score. Look at this pass by Leinart. Floats it right into Jarrett's breadbasket. USC, 27 in a row now, 42-21. They double up Arizona. And at the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, 9th-ranked Cal, 16th-ranked UCLA. For the Golden Bears and Jeff Tedford, Joseph Ayub goes up top. Deshaun Jackson hauls it in, gets into the end zone for the touchdown. 24-14 Cal. Cal had a 12-point lead late in the fourth quarter, but the Bruins, which appear to be a legit threat to USC on that final weekend of the season, come all the way back. The screen to Maurice Drew. Look at the extra gear. Throws himself into the end zone, the game-winning score. Carl Durrell's team undefeated, 47-40, the final score. They beat Cal at home. Joe, Coach, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Michael. Also, Washington State losing to Stanford. I think that was a big surprise because Washington State had been putting up lots of big numbers, and Stanford did not look good. But I think more so now after the Arizona State game, Oregon's just good. I think that people are going to realize that now.
I think we looked at the Stanford team and thought that, you know, we played pretty well against Stanford, and they're a good football team. I am a little bit surprised, but to go up and beat Washington State at their house, that's a huge victory for Stanford. And then UCLA proves that they're for real by beating Cal. It's a tough game. Arizona's a tougher team simply because they hung with the USC also. It's a great conference.
Yeah, what a shame that Oregon does not get a chance to play UCLA this year. Of course, next year you will get to play them, but only, you know, that 8-game conference schedule. Oregon State misses USC, you miss UCLA. I'm assuming you'd rather play them.
Well, anytime. Again, I think, though, that for us right now, well, we won't have a choice in the future. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Coming up next, of course, is the more pressing matter. Now to the Washington Huskies. They were beaten here at Autzen Stadium last year, and this year they have steadily improved. Coach Isaiah Stanback's the quarterback. Now they beat Idaho earlier this year for their only win. But after that, it's been downhill. They lost to Air Force. They got blown out by Notre Dame. They almost beat UCLA, but, you know, Isaiah Stanback's dangerous.
He is very dangerous. He's improved a lot as a thrower. He's a great threat as a runner, but he's improved as a passer. They should have beaten UCLA. Lewis Rankin, their tailback, is coming of age. They've got a receiver Chambers who just comes up with big plays. Manasa Poy on defense. They're a really good football team, at least seemingly now, and they just have to learn how to win. Obviously, I don't want it to happen against us, but they are making plays. Again, I'm really impressed with the development of Isaiah Stanback, the quarterback.
The Husky coach, Tyrone Willingham, making his first trip to Autzen as the Huskies coach. He knows that this is a big-time rivalry, but unlike the previous coaches, he's not going to let the rivalry thing be tainted at all by unfortunate events.
You can't have a great conference unless you have great rivalries. So we want the rivalry and the competition aspect of that, but we don't want the unsportsmanlike conduct that has plagued, I think, all of our society, not just college football, but all of our society. We want, in my opinion, we want all of college football. And hopefully the University of Washington will be a team that leads in that category in terms of getting back to really playing the game in a very fierce manner, but plays it with a lot of respect for our opponent and for the game.
So a little different take with the Huskies coming this year, and it's, it's almost like the old days of the Oregon State rivalry when Oregon dominated. You certainly don't feel sorry for your rival, but you know that it's a game that you'll be heavily favored in, and if you play with your ability and the talent that you have, you should be able to win the football game.
Well, I would hope so, but the biggest thing is it doesn't really matter what anybody else says. The game has to be played. That team wants to win just as much as we do. We have to make sure we don't dwell in our success. We got to look at, hey, this is a tough challenge. Washington's coming to town with a lot to gain and really nothing to lose in that regard. So we have to play very hard. It's the only game we play this week. The next Pac-10 game. Don't get me fired up about that. We got to play hard.
Is the rivalry thing maybe diminished a little bit because they have been so down?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it'll be that way at all. I think what happens in the reality is other people will fan the flames. I agree with Tyrone, though. It should be about the football game, not all the rest of it, and may the best team win and be decided on the field.
Well, Tyrone Willingham certainly has brought some stability and some class to that program, and it'll be fun to have the Huskies back to Autzen Stadium for the second year in a row. All right, when we return on Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti, it's celebration time. The Ducks taking a brief time to celebrate what may be the biggest win for Oregon since the 2001 season. You don't want to miss this. More to come on Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti.
This Oregon Sports Program is brought to you by RV Corral and Northwest Chevy Dealers. This Oregon Sports Program is brought to you by McDonald's and Oregon Community Credit Union.
Welcome back, everyone. Just about to wrap it up. You want to make sure to stay tuned for this celebration we're going to have here, Coach. But how long do you let a team celebrate a win like this? Do you tell them only tonight and tomorrow we're on the Huskies, or give them a little bit of time to enjoy it?
Well, less than 24 hours because we got back at 4 a.m., so they probably went to bed. Hopefully they went to bed. I'm not sure. But they've got today to celebrate it. Tomorrow we got to look forward to the next football game and understand that they can feel good about it, but they can't keep celebrating. We got work to do.
Well, a total team effort. There's no question about that. And even though this feels like old times, this really is a new, improving Oregon football team coming together in front of our very eyes. For the coach, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on Oregon Football with Mike Bellotti. Enjoy this, everyone, and we'll see you next week.